University of Nigeria, my alma mater.
I rejoice
For her lofty plans. University that is sighted on soft green hills.
I rejoice
For her beauty's sake. University of our glory.
The University of Nigeria Alumni Association, UNAA, has honored her icons in a historic occasion tagged 2022 Icons Award Celebration with the theme Celebrating the Legacy of the University of Nigeria Alumni Icons, held on Thursday, November 17, 2022 at the Main Banquet Hall of the Hotel Presidential, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The event saw crème de la crème from all walks of life who have passed through the great University of Nigeria, together with their friends and associates in glamorous attires. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in Nigeria, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, CON, who is also an alumnus of the university, was the keynote speaker. In the keynote address, Mr. Obi noted that the alumni of Nigerian universities have more roles to play than they have been playing, as he used the UNAA as a case in focus.
I was in Nsukka, I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. When I challenged and said that the university, the Alumni Association of the university, should work differently, do things differently. They should be the people building the universities now. And I challenged the university. I said, let me tell you. And that's the only thing I'm going to talk about here. And then talk about politics. You know, the university alumni associations in Nigeria are not doing the university they pass through. They're not contributing in building the university. We're not doing the right thing. By now, a university like Nsukka should not be looking for money. Should not be among the universities that are going through what other universities are going through. They should be different. And that's what I said in Nsukka. And I meant every one of it. By Nsukka have produced over the years. I'm sure if we try to articulate and get everybody, we should be able to have at least 25,000. This is conservative. Because I'm sure it's far more than that. If we're going to have 25,000 people who are saying every year, I'm sure the Nsukka graduates, how many?
10,000.
A yearly. Call it average of 5,000. So let's leave those who went there since, let's just think since after the Civil War. We're talking about 40 years now. So assuming out of 5,000, let me even bring it down to 2,000 times 40 years. Is it not 80,000? Huh? 80,000. So out of 80, we will be able to find, this is, I'm now reducing from 5 to 2. We should be able to find another 40,000 that are strong members, or even 50, that are strong members of this university. And if we have it, and they are able, on the average, to contribute an average of 50,000 naira. I told them in Nsukka that we can do an average of 100,000 naira, because we say 10,000 naira a month. Some of us, including myself, can contribute maybe 1 or 2 million per annum. And I told the Nsukka people, I said, easily, I can contribute 510 per annum. Other people can do the same. So if you get an average of 100,000 naira times 50,000, how many is it?
5 billion.
5 billion. Nsukka doesn't receive that from federal government annually.
He further added that the nation is in dire need of rescue to avoid total collapse, noting that the recent report of over 63% of Nigerian population 130 million being poor is disgraceful to the richly endowed nation.
Have released 130 million Nigerians are poor. Tell me, a country of about 220 million, 130 million is poor. Why would you have crisis? Nigeria today have more people living in poverty than India and China combined. These two countries combined is 2.8 billion. But Nigeria have more people living in poverty than two of them combined. It is a crisis. We have a crisis. What we are doing now is the moral campaign. I'm pleading with all of us. Nigeria is in crisis. Let nobody think that it's something you can call banditry, anything. If you lock this door and all of us stays here for the next few days without knowing where the next meal will come from, what will happen? You will not believe it. You have 130 million people living in poverty. It is a crisis situation. You have unemployment today of 35%. No country of our size will have that size of unemployment, and you have crisis. And not just that you have that, you have about 50 to 60% youth unemployment. Young people in their productive age with all the energy and talent doing nothing. It is a crisis. And this crisis is what we need to grapple with and deal with as quickly as possible. This is happening. That's why you have insecurity. Simple. Anywhere in the world you have happened, they will have insecurity. They will have bandits. They will have us. So you need to do something quickly. And what are you going to do? You need to tackle, people say, you tackle issue of security, but simultaneously and aggressively tackle issue of the economy. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality in the country. Because if people have a job, they're doing well, they don't need to engage in all sorts of crime. So you need to deal with it. And why people say, oh, what are you going to do? Nigeria is not a productive country. You must make it productive. God blessed us, we have everything, but we're not productive. All we do is consumption. Meat, consume things and everything. And now it become the other. So nobody wants to do anything. We have vast, Nigeria has vast land. Today our vast land is uncultivated. And we're hungry. We don't export anything. We don't sell anything. The little things we have like oil is being stolen by us. By those who are supposed to look outside. The only thing we do is criminality. People are stealing public money. People are behaving anyhow. Nobody wants to say anything. So my dear people, it is urgent that we start doing something. Yes, it is urgent that we start changing our dynamics. Otherwise, we'll consume everybody.
Alumni Association is not a village society where people just go for age grade. Alumni associations of Nigerian universities are not contributing to building the universities. We are not doing the right thing. Associations just come once in a year when we want to hold a gathering like this. It shouldn't be like that, he said.
You know, so alumni associations, this is not a village society where people just go for age grade. Not age grade. It's something that should help all of us. In age grade, you can afford, okay, I'm this age. But I want to be able to have a system that works. I want to read stories about some young boys in Soka who are doing a marvelous work in social place. And if I come to that city, or someone comes to that city, you look for them. That's what changes the society. That's how we can change it. And that's what I'm challenging you able to do. And the leadership of this our organization. Thank you.
The First Lady of Ondo State, Her Excellency, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, while lamenting the challenges of the University of Nigeria as well as its Alumni Association, stated that the situation of the school is unacceptable.
I saw the dilapidation of the university and our infrastructure. And now, what now stirred me into action was that video. I hope all of you saw it, of Main Banquet Hall. I had a meeting with VC Professor Igwe and Chief Emenike. We had a meeting in Abuja, and I made a commitment that I will see to the renovation of Main Banquet Hall. And I came up with a hashtag, you remember, fix Main Banquet Hall, fix UNN, dossier UNN. Did you see it? Yeah. Okay. It's ongoing. And I'm happy that global president, and even one of the speakers said, go there and pick a project. We don't want your naira, so go there and pick a project, and I think I've done mine. And that doesn't mean that I will not contribute to the Alumni Center.
She also added that vice-chancellors of Nigerian universities should not always wait for alumni to donate or contribute money before they could record achievements in their various institutions. She tasked them to see the need for research, development, and investing in innovation and renewable energy.
And today, aquaculture has gone to the next level. We are talking about application of renewable energy in fish production, and that's where I am now. So as the world moves, you move. Not just teaching zoology or doing one agricultural something. The world is going digital, or has gone digital, and it should also reflect in courses or the curriculum of the university. So when you don't have NEPA takes light. In one of the conferences I attended, last year, NEPA took light. A university of that magnitude, you should have renewable energy department. You should be producing solar panels. I organize, I don't know if some of you are aware, I run a 2-week program, Be More Girls, where girls are trained in ICT and renewable energy. Secondary school girls. My girls are producing solar panels and fixing. In my farm, I depend on solar energy to provide, to power my farm 24/7. Wow. NEPA, when they wake up, then we can talk. But right now, I want you to forget NEPA. Moving to renewable energy is possible.
In an exclusive interview with CEO Africa, she noted that Ondo State does not have a branch of the UNAA, adding that she would take up the challenge of ensuring that it is established.
I want to say something which I plan to say if I'm given opportunity to say something, is that I've been challenged. I am the First Lady of Ondo State, and you know my position. When I speak, people listen. We don't have an alumni association as I speak in Ondo State. Today, I'm mobilizing membership. We need to, sit up. You need to do what is expected of us to do.
Her Excellency, Dame Patience Faka Jonathan, the immediate past First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, who was represented by Dr. Mrs. Precious Bello, former Senior Special Advisor to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan, her husband, on Millennium Development Goals, vowed to be part of the alumni's multi-million naira building project. The president of the association, Lady Doris Okoro, PhD, who thanked all for their contributions, stated that the essence of the Alumni Center project is to make the presence of the association felt in the school, while urging the icons and other alumni to choose a project that they can execute for the school themselves without giving anyone money. She promised that all who take part in the project will have their names inscribed on the Wall of Fame of the university.
From the Alumni Secretariat as the first female national stroke global president of our Noble Association. Today is a special day in the annals of history of the alumni movement of our renowned alma mater, the University of Nigeria, because we are special. This special event is one well designed specially to celebrate and honor our resourceful icons. There are persons who have distinguished themselves in alumni movement, career and profession in their services to humanity in line with our university mantra to teach the truth, preserve the truth, and thereby restore the dignity of man. It is in tandem with his celebration and honor of our revered icons that we are all here gathered.
Lady Dr. Doris Okoro, who noted that Mr. Obi's speech 2 years ago in Nsukka inspired her desire to become the association's president, thanked the presidential front-runner and further sought his collaboration in actualizing the goals of her administration, while adding that she feels fulfilled seeing the interests of alumni in identifying with the giant steps being taken by her administration.
Brought us here is celebrating university icons. And it will interest you to know that all universities we started this alumni movement with have structures as alumni center or secretariat. And here, our university does not have any. And I know nobody asks you for physical cash you give. When Enugu Airport was bad, I flew with you several times. And I know nobody knew, most people who never knew you were a governor knew when these airports, people will come and tell you, go to VIP. You say, no, I didn't pay for that. Sir, behold our project. I know with you and your friends, we can actualize that project. The model is also here, the prototype is also here. My regime as the first female president of this association, I don't want shishi from anybody. Don't give me physical shishi. But I will be proud to say during my tenure, this project was attracted to the university under my leadership during my time. So please help us actualize this project within the shortest possible time as you continue in your campaign.
While reacting to questions in an exclusive interview with CEO Africa, she expressed optimism that the multi-million naira project of an alumni center will be completed in no time.
I've done that severally at different associations since in the church. I'm a mobilizer of fun and human beings. One thing human beings require from you is accountability, sincerity of purpose. And having been part of this movement for some time, my members believe and trust in me. You can see that the chairman of this occasion is not disposed to be physically present, but he said, connect me on Zoom. And this is a man that has touched my life. I have worked with him as his branch president, and I made impact. This is something I will start from today, drop by drop, within a short time. This 100 million, will be like a tea thing.
Meanwhile, chairman of the occasion, Chief Dr. Emmanuel Chukwuemeka Iwayawu, MFR, charged the alumni to ensure that they follow the legacies of the institution's founding fathers, adding that his commitment to the association remains sacrosanct. He attended virtually as his health could not let him come physically. The guest speaker, Professor Charles Esimone, who is also the Vice-Chancellor, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, whose speech was presented by Professor Ogbonna Okolisa, stressed that alumni were grown to grow others.
We have little or no passion for an institution that nourished us. You know that even if people do online in Harvard School, the first thing they will say is, I'm from Harvard. But look at in Africa, University of Nigeria, so many of us are not passionate about that credo. Where we are coming from. We are not, and we just express them carelessly with a wave of the hand. The reason why we are gathering for this type of award is to stir up our spirits again. We have little or no passion, yes. The great question again is, what do we do to restore and maintain our university's pride of place in both local and global ranking and reckoning? We are therefore here today to reignite ourselves again, to drive a passion for a strong and viable alumni for a common vision in tandem with the university's motto that says to restore the dignity of man.
The Vice-Chancellor, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Professor Charles Igwe, who was represented by Professor Chuma Nwakuba, lamented that the federal government has been unwilling to provide funds for Nigerian universities, noting that the university has continued to develop, embarking on projects despite the challenge, stressing that the donations of the alumni will be judiciously used and accounted for.
Current challenges of aging infrastructure and overstretched facilities. We are doing this simply through the judicious use of IGR, internally generated revenue, no matter how small it is, and making sure we comply with the rather stringent regulations of the Tertiary Education Fund, so we do not miss out in the crucial interventions that we provide. As you know, we can only operate within the limits of resources available to us. In spite of all these challenges, especially the challenge of the paucity of funds, if you take a tour for our university today, you'll probably be impressed by some of the new developments taking place all around our campuses. And so be assured that your university is in safe and competent hands.
The immediate past president of the association, Sir Surveyor Ben Okoronkwo, whose leadership secured the piece of land for the project from the university, tasked universities to source funds internally without depending on the allocation from the government. He, however, urged the alumni to give back to the school, which made them without relenting. In his earlier remark, he noted that the University of Nigeria is like a grandmother since it is above 60. Thus, she needs the support of her children, the alumni, to continue to thrive.
To the 62nd Founders' Day anniversary of that great university. Our university is 62 years old. And as a human being, if we take the university as a human being, at 62, strength would have gone out of her. And it behoves the children, you and I, our friends, to come together, articulate ways and means of sustaining that citadel of learning. The citadel of learning that produced you and I, the citadel of learning that have made waves beyond the shores of this country. Let me also say this. There are alumni associations all over the world who hold the historical conscience of their alma mater. Beyond the shores of this country, talking about Yale, Stanford, Michigan,
they are being supported largely by the alumni groups. Yes, some of them have been many years before us. But we believe if they're doing 100%, we can attempt to do 50%.
In an interview with CEO Africa, he noted that the said 600 million naira needed for the Alumni Center is not such a difficult task to accomplish for the lions and the lionesses.
For the past 58 years, that edifice had eluded us. And University of Nigeria, one of the foremost universities in this country. Younger universities have done alumni centers. Old generation universities, some of them have done. But the giant of them all, the University of Nigeria, and its alumni have not been able to do that. So it doesn't matter when you started, but how well and how fast you move as soon as you start. 600 million, I don't think is a big deal for the graduates of the University of Nigeria. Going beyond the shores of this country, go to Yale, MIT, Stanford, Michigan, the alumni group, they hold the S, let me put it that way. Funding the university and all that. But this one, the headquarters that eluded us, we're going to focus on it, and our members are going to key into it. Not just our members alone, our friends too. And donor agencies, people who are reaching out to. 600 million, like we said, in the present Nigeria, if you do a conversion, you see that it's a little money. But be that as it may, we are believing God that we will achieve this edifice in a record time.
The chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Engineer Michael Wabweze, thanked everyone for their contributions.
Together, and we believe we will succeed together and turn a new leaf and a new look in the University of Nigeria. Thank you for coming. May God bless you. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the host, Tochukwu Onyebuchi, who is the president, Port Harcourt branch, and South-South Zonal Vice President of the association, who had earlier called for support and partnership among the alumni in his welcome address, noted in an interview with CEO Africa that the members of the National Executive conceived the idea of celebrating the icons after the death of an icon, Professor B.I.C. Ijoma, who died in 2020.
The idea behind this celebration is that University of Nigeria Alumni Association has come of age. In the wisdom of the current National Exco, we decided that there's need for the association to celebrate their own, especially those elderly ones. In fact, the people who the thought of them brought about this celebration are Sajiti G. Tobi, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, Dr. Peter Obi and the wife, then the rest of the other celebrants, people we are celebrating today. Sometime 2020, we lost one of our own, one of the pioneer members of this association, in the person of Professor B.I.C. John. So based on that, we decided that these ones that are still with us today, that there's need for us to begin to celebrate and appreciate them now that they are alive. While doing this, we now felt that it is equally an opportunity to reckon with younger lions and lionesses, alumni and alumnus and alumnus that are still doing very well in their various areas of discipline and career.
Among the dignitaries honored were Her Excellency Dame Patience Faka Jonathan, Her Excellency Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, the Vice Chancellors Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Charles Esimone, and Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Professor Madwe BBC Iwe, Alabo Sir Dr. Gabriel Toby, a pioneer student of the university from 1960 to 1963, Father of the Day and former administrator in River State, who stated that for Peter Obi's presence in the meeting, he would stay till the end. Mazi Nnamdi Ukwadigbo, who is a former president, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Meanwhile, it was not only the elderly and the slightly above middle-aged that were honored. A youth was also there whose impacts cannot be ignored. Dr. Unegbu Obinna George, the proprietor Shekinah British International School, who also pledged total commitment to the movement, having been supporting the Imo State branch of the association. Others include a retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Honorable Justice Mary Ukego Peter Odele, Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Technology Owerri, Professor Nenna Uti, former Provost, Alva Nikoku Federal College of Education Owerri, Professor Blessing Ijeoma, Dr. Oke Ibeabuchi, Minaya Aja Esien, SAN. Others also honored were Chief Dr. Emmanuel Iwayawu, MFR, Chief Engineer John Arachi, Founder, General Overseer, Omega Power Ministries, Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere, Pharmacist Uchenna Akpakama, Elder Wilcox Aberton, SAN, Chief Okudili Oti, Professor Azubike Onyebuchi, Dr. Godwin Asomoa, Professor Felix Erondu, Sir Ahamefule Ejelam, SAN, and Honorable Valentine Ozigbo, the PDP governorship candidate for the Anambra 2021 election and immediate past CEO and President, Transcorp PLC. An awardee who spoke to CEO Africa in an interview and Vice Chancellor, Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike, Professor Madwe BBC Iwe, while thanking his uncle for training him in school, noted that today's education is a far cry from what his generation received.
The one of today is a little bit diluted. The one we had was very strong and concentrated. All right? So the one that made us tough. The one of today is so loose that people are not, they don't bother so much to acquire education. In those days, we bothered so much to acquire education.
In his own response, Honorable Valentine Ozigbo, the PDP governorship candidate for the Anambra 2021 election and immediate past CEO, Transcorp PLC, vowed to ensure that the alumni project is actualized, while thanking the organizers for the award.
Of our alumni, to appreciate every single one of you, especially our incoming president for his presence here today. UNN is the institution that has made us who we are today. We're grateful, we're honored and privileged to be a member of this body. I don't want to say much. The only thing I want to offer the alumni is when His Excellency becomes our next president and you try to reach him, you can't get him, come to me. That's what I will offer. That's what I will offer. And whatever we will do to actualize this project, we will do that.
Professor Felix Erondu, while expressing his delight in being honored, stated that he, together with others, would work harder in mobilizing friends, peers, and other alumni for the noble cause.
They said that typically the reward for hard work is more hard work. So the world should expect a better alumni, someone who will do his best, contribute his quota towards improving the University of Nigeria Alumni Association. So we will mobilize, we will try and reach out to our friends, our colleagues and peers, to mobilize them towards actualizing the cause of the University of Nigeria Alumni Association, especially the achievement of building an iconic center for the university.
The event fortunately coincided with the 118th posthumous birthday of the founder of the school and first president of Nigeria, late Right Honorable Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, as well as the 62nd anniversary of the institution.
University of Nigeria, my alma mater. Hail and rejoice for the sake of truth. Where young men and women do seek for knowledge. Hail and rejoice for the sake of knowledge. Where the nation's potentials do brood in the nest. Hail and rejoice for her noble ideals. University by excel, our dreams come true. Hail and rejoice for the giants our ways. My alma mater, my alma mater. Noble alumnus and our ideals, and great are thou in science and in arts, in all the realms of learning thou art all sublime. University of Nigeria, my alma mater. Hail and rejoice for her lofty bless. Diversity that is cited on soft green hills. Hail and rejoice for her beauty's sake. University of